Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how to knit the C4Bp, also known as the 2x2 RPC, which has this as its symbol, although there are variations, and it is a right-leaning cable. I'll also be showing you how to knit the C4Fp, also known as the 2x2 LPC, and has this as its symbol, again with its variations. I will, during this tutorial, keep referring to them as the C4Bp and C4Fp, because that's simply the abbreviation that I'm used to, although I will occasionally slip up, because the abbreviations are still quite the tongue twisters. I'll be showing you how to do this with and without a cable needle, and I'll be giving you the timestamps down below so you can immediately go to wherever you would like to go. The P in the name of all of the abbreviations entails that this is in fact a 4-stitch cable, but you only see a cable the width of 2 stitches. Using this cable will make you able to move the narrow strip of the knit stitches across your work in a diagonal like here, or for instance if you combine them you can make a lovely pattern like this reversible honeycomb pattern, which I have also made a tutorial on. I will also give you a link to the description in the description box to this if you would like to try this. Just 2 little notes. I am using circular needles for this tutorial. This is not necessary to knit these cables. This is simple. I'm simply doing this because it's easier for me to film with circular needles than with regular needles, single pointed needles, because it'll just click against the table the entire time, so just ignore that. Another thing to ignore is how I wrap the yarn around my needle. I know that apparently this is the opposite way that most people do this. Clockwise instead of counterclockwise, or the other way around. I don't really notice. It's the way that I have been knitting the last 20 years, so it's a habit I can't break anymore. But for some people it makes it look, because it makes the positioning of my stitches the other way round in mirror image, and so it will seem as if I am knitting through the back loop or purling through the back loop. I am not. I will only be knitting through the back loop when I explicitly mention this. If I'm not, then just imagine that my purls are, just do them the way you purl, or my knits, knit them the way you knitwise in the regular fashion. This little caveat there. Excuse me, my bunnies are in the paper bin. To start with the C4Bp with the cable needle. This is a right-leaning cable, so you'll be needing 2 purl stitches in front of the 2 knit stitches, that is your actual cable that is moving across your work. So work your way until you have 2 stitches left before the, let's call it a tube. Okay? Get your cable needle and you place the 2 purl stitches on your cable needle. And as the cable needle suggests, that is the B in the C4Bp, you place it in the back of the work. That's what the B stands for, back. There we are. With your yarn over those 2 stitches, not underneath, but over. You just knit the next 2 stitches knitwise. There you are. And then either you purl the stitches immediately from the cable needle, or, as I'm going to do now, you're just going to slide these purl stitches back onto your left needle. With this you can just do whatever you want. And then you're going to purl the purl stitches. There you are. Now on to how to knit the C4Bp without the cable needle. Still, you're going to knit your way up until you have 2 stitches in front of your 2 knit stitches. These will be 2 purl stitches most of the time. I am going to, with my right needle in front of the work, skip the 2 purl stitches and shimmy my way into my 2 knit stitches. With my index and thumb finger, I'm going to pinch the base of the 2 purl stitches to slide all 4 stitches off my left needle. And then with my left needle, I'm going to place them, insert them into the 2 purl stitches. I can now let go of them. Now I'm going to lightly twist. And the stitches on my right needle, I'm going to place them back on my left needle. These are the 2 knit stitches. So I have now switched the positions of the 2 knit stitches and the 2 purl stitches. And now I'm simply going to knit them as they come. So I'm going to knit the 2 knit stitches knitwise. And I'm going to purl the purl stitches purlwise. Et voila. I am on the next row now, so this is the wrong side row. And what you simply do is again knit the stitches as they come. So here I have these 4 stitches, or the 4 stitches that I previously worked the cable with. Knit stitch, so I knit it knitwise. Knit stitch, I knit it knitwise. 2 purl stitches, so I'm going to purl them. That's simple. I'll now be showing you how to do the C4Fp with a cable needle. This is a left-leaning cable, so you'll work your way up until the actual knit stitches. You will place these knit stitches onto your cable needle. And because of the F in the name, it stands for front, you hang this in front of the work. And then you simply purl the next 2 stitches purlwise. And then either you knit the knit stitches directly off of your cable needle, or you can just place them back on your left needle, whichever you find most comfortable. And then you knit them knitwise. Voila. Now how to do a C4Fp without a cable needle. There might be several ways to do this, but this is how I do it. With your yarn and your needle in the back of the work, I am going to skip the 2 knit stitches. Just going to ignore them. Shimmy the point of my right needle into the 2 purl stitches, like that. Going to move everything a little bit more to the end of the needle. With my thumb and index finger, I'm going to pinch the first 2 stitches. So these are the knit stitches. I'm going to pinch them. I'm going to slip all 4 stitches off of my left needle. And I'm going to insert my left needle back into the 2 stitches that I'm pinching, and then release. The reason why I'm pinching them is because I don't want them to unravel or to drop a stitch. Depending on how heavy your work is or how slippery your yarn is, they could maybe just come undone. Nobody wants that. So, and now I'm going to place the stitches that are on my right needle back onto my left. And I have now switched the positions of the knit stitches and the purl stitches. So I now simply knit them as they come, meaning these 2 are purl stitches, so I'm going to bring my yarn forward between my needles, and I'm going to purl them purlwise. These are 2 knit stitches, so I'm going to knit them knitwise. Here I am at the 4 stitches that I used for my cable in the previous round. Doesn't matter whether you did this with or without the cable needle. You simply knit them as they come, meaning I see a purl stitch, you see the 2 little bumps here, so I'm going to purl the next 2 stitches. I see 2 little V's, so I'm going to knit them knitwise. And there we are. How often do you do this cable stitch? Like however many rows? It really depends on the pattern. If this was a regular C4F or C4B, I would recommend every 4th row you do the cable stitch. But with this, it really depends on the pattern. If you want to just create a diagonal, then I recommend that you do it every right side row. If, for instance, you want to do something like the herringbone stitch, honeycomb stitch, the reversible one, then you're going to have to do a cable stitch every 4th row. So it really depends on the effect that you want to create with this stitch. So I can't give you any do this or do that many rows, because it really depends. I hope this tutorial was helpful for you. If so, leave a comment, give me a like, or whatever you could do to feed that little algorithm beast that is YouTube. And you can always subscribe. You can also follow me on Instagram if you want, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Nin. Up, 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 up. Madame. Madame. No rest for the filming.